Hi, CCSM community. We're 5 weeks away from the most consequential election of our lifetime. And I want to take a moment today to talk to you through this video because I can't talk to you in person anymore. It's heartbreaking to me, especially during this time. But I want to say that at CCSM we surround ourselves, we gather, we center in the teachings of Jesus. And I want to suggest to you that the teachings of Jesus tell us who to vote for. Well, now that I have your attention after saying that, let me tell you what I mean by that. As you go to the polls or as you fill out your ballot in whatever way you're going to, I invite you to vote for the least of these. The least of these that Jesus talked about: the poor, the hungry, the thirsty, the unsheltered, those in prison, the widows, the lonely. And so when you vote this year, who should you vote for? According to your faith tradition, I invite you to vote for the poor. I invite you to vote for the unsheltered. I invite you to vote for the uninsured and underinsured who are one illness away from bankruptcy. I invite you to vote for working families in our county who work just as hard as you and I do, who can't afford to pay their rent. And the dream of an American home, owning an American home, is out of their grasp. I invite you to vote for those who are unjustly accused and languishing in prison. I invite you to vote for our children, especially those in the underfunded schools in our state and in our nation, who don't get a good education, who are left behind. I invite you to vote for your undocumented friends and neighbors. And for those in the TPS program, which will end on January 1, who, after most of them living here 20 years, establishing a life and a vocation and a family, will in 2021 live in fear of being deported. And on a personal note, I invite you to vote for my daughter, who was really wondering if Black Lives Matter in our county, in our state, and in our nation. This election is all about who belongs and who matters. And so with every proposition and with every candidate, I invite you to vote with that in mind. And with the teachings of Jesus as your North Star. And more than anything, I invite you to vote driven by love. Love for your neighbor. Vote our guiding principles: open-minded, evolving, inclusive, Christian. I know that some of you may take offense or be uncomfortable with me talking so specifically about politics and about voting. Religion and politics cannot be untangled. So I invite you to ask the question: what kind of religion is involved? Is it the kind of faith that includes or excludes? At CCSM, we practice a faith, and we practice an extravagant welcome. And that welcome is a sacrament to us. And may that sacrament not just be true in our sanctuary, but may it be true in all of our lives. So join me. Join me in prayer and in action for the next 5 weeks and beyond. Thanks for taking the time to listen.